Hi everybody, Patty Ann here. Hang on just a second. You know I need a sip. I have so much stuff here on my table I can barely move. I just wanted to tell you I'm doing this for a person who had a comment on our YouTube channel. I think the name was S. Sargent. But anyway, the person had said, you know, Patty Ann, I noticed the shirt that you had on the other day. This is my Gryffindor shirt. My daughter and I actually went to Florida to Harry Potter World and got these one year. But anyway, I didn't make this one, but I'm going to show you how to make something like this today. Now, I'm going to use the heat flock, the StripFlock, because you know I love it so. And I'm going to do it on white. So I'm going to use some of my big roll that I have of this. Most of you probably will never buy a roll of it. I just really love this stuff so much that I have a roll of gray and a roll of black. And then I add in other colors as needed. So you can just buy it by the sheet though. And I showed you in yesterday's video when I made the Cricket Love shirt how I use the heat or the flock. Anyway, so today I went to Joann's and I got a t-shirt. Long sleeve so I can show it, and I'm going to do it in the black. Originally I was going to use this Cricket Everyday Iron-On, but I decided I'm going to instead use the StripFlock. Now, something that I use and you really have to have, if not these that you've purchased, I can highly recommend them. You can also probably get a piece of foam somewhere that you could use, or I've even thought, like I said in my last video, about using a mouse pad. The only thing that worries me about me suggesting that to you is I don't know what materials those things are made out of, and they could be giving off toxic fumes. These things were manufactured for the purpose of using them with heat press machines, either EasyPresses or the big presses like the one I have. But when you buy this set, well, let me show you this, the website you'd go to. It's this one up here, and I'll have a link for it down below. And when you get here, there's a search bar right here. You would click in what you want to search for, and this would be T pad, like a t-shirt pad it. And I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard. And I'm going to come to a bunch of stuff, and eventually when I scroll down here, this is the set that I purchased right here. Okay, it's $25. It's not cheap, but it's well worth it if you're going to be doing a lot of t-shirts and whatnot. Check out the reviews. They've had excellent reviews for this. It's really great, and I'll show you how it's used in a minute, and if you want to, you can even watch their video here to see how it's used. But just as it shows here, I did get all of these pieces. The one that I'm going to use today is this longer one, and let me go back to my screen, is the longer one, because this is going to fit in my sleeve. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, why in the world do I need that? Well, I'll show you why. On the sleeve, if you're going to do a sleeve, and it's going to go down the center from my shoulder down, right? Here's the seam, the underseam. It's not on that side. It's from my shoulder down. So what I've done so far was I ironed this piece with my EasyPress. So I have a nice crease down here, and then I'm going to fold it so that crease meets this seam perfectly. Just kind of have to wiggle it around a bit and get it so that they match up. See, I can feel, here's the seam, and there's the little line I made, so I need to move that over because I want those to match up perfectly. So I'm just feeling down and I'm getting it to match up perfectly. Okay, now I don't know if you can see this from there, but I can certainly feel it. There's a big ridge right here. And say I bring my heat press down on here with my vinyl here, that is going to make a bad mistake in my vinyl. It's not going to work well at all. I need to have something in here to help so that this lump doesn't affect the pressing, and that's where this little thing comes in. Notice how that's going to fit in there perfectly. So I just take it and I put it in the neck. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing right now. Trying to make sure that I don't mess up the way I've just aligned everything. Okay, there we go. Then I can just go down in this side and pull it through like that. I'm just going to do Cricket Love. What I did was I measured the size of my pad and I put one in here. I made it a little smaller than my pad. And I decided I wanted my letters close to 2 inches tall, something like that. So I just did it, and my letters are, well, actually they're a little over 2 inches tall, I guess. So that's good. So I'm going to go to make this. And you know what I need to do? I need to cancel, because I can get rid of this black thing because that's just my spacer like. And do we like the spacing of these letters? I think I could change the spacing just a little bit. So I think I will go to Ungroup to Letters and move a few of these over just a little bit. Like I could probably move the O over a little bit, and the V, and the E. Okay. And maybe the T a tiny little bit. Okay, now since I've jiggled those around a lot, I will need to do one more thing. I'm going to highlight them all. I'm going to come up here to Align and Align Bottom. So they'll be perfectly aligned. Okay, I'm ready to make it, but this isn't going to probably work just right, and I'll show you why. First, I need to attach everything so the letters stay in the right place. I'm going to go to Make It. Now notice what it says I need. I need a 12 by 24 mat. I don't have that size of mat, so I need to cancel that. And I'm going to have to split this into 2 different words. So I'm going to highlight it all, and I'm going to go to Detach. And then I'm going to come just to the word Love, and I think I'll group it together, and I'll just bring it down here below. Let's see. I'm going to leave it like an inch between them like that, so it's easy for me to weed and use. And then I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to say Attach. So now when I go to make it, they can both be made on the one sheet, and I'm ready to go. So I'm going to go to Continue, and you're going to see something I better remember to do. Remember, I'm using iron-on. Got to connect to my machine. And if you'll recall, as soon as I say I'm using the flock, iron-on flock, it's going to tell me to make sure that I mirror it. So I had to browse all materials. And if you remember yesterday, I did a little test, and I found out on my other shirt that when I went to iron-on, and I did everyday iron-on, it worked perfectly for this flock. So my machine's now ready to go. Let me get my vinyl on there, get it cut, and I'll be back to weed it and then to put it on my shirt. Okay, my vinyl has been cut. You may be wondering, how did I know what setting to put it on my Explore Air, because there was no setting on our machine. So do you remember from yesterday's video where I did a sample cut right here, and it did a perfect kiss cut, which means that it cut the vinyl but not the carrier sheet underneath. So I did a little sample, and I like to save pieces like this of whatever material I'm going to use so that I can test it to see how well it works before I put a big piece in there. So I found out that everyday iron-on worked well for this. I cut off some extra pieces to save, and now I'm going to cut these 2 pieces apart because I don't want to have to work with them together like that. I'm just kind of rough cutting around it a little bit. Let's see. So, okay. So now I'm going to weed out that which I don't need. And it just breaks my heart to get rid of all this because it's so soft and pretty. And it weeds really easily. It's just like velvet or like suede. It's just so nice. You may be seeing a bunch of flock, like fuzzy stuff on the carrier sheet, but there's no glue on that part to be melted into the shirt, so it's not going to matter at all. So let me clean this little bit of a mess up, and I'll go bring my heat press over here. Okay, I'm ready to go. My machine is heated up. I am making it so that the word starts at my shoulder like this and goes down. Same thing here. I'm going to start it right up here. I'm going to just do Cricut first, and it's better that I'm doing it in two pieces too, because then that fits perfectly with my heat press. My heat press is set to 320 degrees for 20 seconds. So here we go. And good firm pressure. Remember last time when I laid on it and accidentally turned it off? I hear you yelling, "Don't lay on it, Patty Ann." Okay, there's one part done. Now this is a hot peel or a cold peel, so I'm not going to do anything with that yet. So I'm going to put the word love on here next and make sure it's lined up good. Well, okay, that looks good there. All right, now I'm going to do this one for 20 seconds with a firm pressure. Okay. And since it's a cold peel, I'm going to wait till it gets cool to peel it. This side's cold, but this side got warmed up again a little bit. And then the next thing that I'll do, remember we're supposed to do, is turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, this side's pretty cool now. I think I should be able to peel this off. There we go. Very nice. Y'all, I love the feel of this. It's so nice. Okay, this one's almost cool. All right, that's pretty cool. Let's try it. Okay, that is beautiful, you guys. That is absolutely stunning. So that the seam is not even involved anymore, because the seam is up here now, and I'm just heat pressing it. Okay, so I'm going to do this one for 15 seconds. And actually, I'm doing it for 20. And then I'm going to do this side for 20. Okay, there you go. That should be it. Let's check it out. How's that look? So it will be on my shoulder like that. Okay, there's how it turned out. This shirt's not quite my size, so actually the shoulder seam should be more like up there, but you get the idea of how it looks. Goes right down the side, center side of my shirt. I like it. Turned out nicely. Cricket, hello. Well, thanks you guys for joining me. Give me a thumbs up if you like my